Hello everyone, welcome to this week's video. My name's Mark. I own and run the Purple Penny along with my wife Catherine. We're a small coin and banknote dealer in the northern suburbs of Adelaide at a place called Mawson Lakes. We've been doing these videos for the last 5 years or so. Now, if you're watching, and I'll repeat this a couple of times through the video, if you have a look in the description for this week's video, you'll see a link at the bottom of the description, and that'll take you to a password protected page on our website. We've got a special offer today just for people that are watching the Facebook video live. This will not work during the YouTube replay later. Catherine's put together a package of War Animals products. We've got a War Animals mintmark, a War Animals ram roll, and a single War Animals $2 coin from a roll. So that's a package. It's $133.50. There's 20 of those available to video watchers. And if you watch to the end of this video, I'll tell you what the password is to unlock that page and purchase that package. So again, there is a link in the video description to our website. It's password protected. At the end of the video, I'll tell you what that password is, and you will, as a video watcher, have the opportunity to buy a ram roll, a mintmark, and a single War Animals $2 coin from a roll, $133.50 plus postage. Now there is a strict limit on those, one per household, one per person, and payment via bank deposit only. If you do try to get around that limit, we'll just cancel every order that you make without warning. It's just a special offer for people who have supported us for this video over the last few years. And as you all probably know, it's well below what the current market value is for those items, so still at release price. Watch the end of the video, I'll tell you what the password is. Right, let's get into the news. There's a nice batch of news this week. Some metal detecting finds, which I do like. A question to prompt you to ask me some things next week. Some banknote stuff, and then an absolute trash article on the UK media that appeared this week. So don't think we're special here in Australia getting the crappy coin articles. They get it in the UK as well. Now, the first item is an Anglo-Saxon coin pendant. When I went to the British Museum a few months ago, I was very surprised to see a number of Roman coins on display that had holes in them or had suspensions soldered to them. Now, it turns out that making jewellery out of coins is not a new thing. It's been going on for thousands of years. The Romans did it, and it turns out that the Anglo-Saxons in post-Roman Britain did it as well. So a metal detectorist has found this gold pendant in a field in Norfolk, and it might look like a Roman coin with a suspension on the top, but what it actually is a counterfeit Roman coin with a suspension on top. It's still made of gold. Archaeologists have dated it to about 500 AD, but it depicts a coin of Emperor Honorius, who was about 100 years before that. It's got a picture of his portrait on the left side there, and then a person holding a cross on the right hand side there. The legends of the coin are quite bungled, so it's not a very good copy. But it is a copy of a gold coin made from gold, just to be worn as jewellery. And it's interesting, Anglo-Saxons who were pagans in post-Roman Britain, and of course Rome became Christian in about AD 320, pagans decided that they would make a Christian coin there to wear as jewellery. And why would they have done that? Well, because Britain would have been littered with Roman buildings, Roman artifacts and things like that, and perhaps to try and make themselves feel a bit more upper class, the Anglo-Saxons were creating imitation Roman artifacts to wear and use. And that might seem a bit odd, But of course, the Victorian British did the same. They had a complete revival of classical design in the 1800s. They imitated all of that. So, you know, that sort of thing goes on today. We look back at a period that we admire and try to imitate that particular period. So, really interesting find there. Another metal detecting find from England. This was found by a detectorist who's been visiting the same field for over 20 years and has found a few Roman coins and some medieval coins. But the story goes that he was metal detecting the field one day and had found nothing, walked back to his car, thought he'd just run the metal detector around where the car was parked, and this coin was found about 20 centimetres underground right next to his car door. It's a denarius of Hadrian. Of Trajan, issued in 107 AD. It's called a restoration issue. The reverse of it depicts coin dies, pincers and hammers, so it actually depicts the coin manufacturing process. What's really interesting about this is that there's only been 3 types of this particular coin enter the market, and if you want to buy this one, it's up for sale in the UK the day after tomorrow. Could be yours for just between £5,000 and £6,000. The detectorist is splitting the proceeds of the item with the landowner, and this item has been declared treasure, so there'd be a certificate from the Portable Antiquities Scheme in the UK that goes along with that particular coin. Another interesting metal detecting find in Germany, near the town of Koblenz, which is on the River Rhine, and it turns out that that particular location is outside of the old Roman territory, so it was actually outside of Rome, and a hoard of nearly 3,000 Antonini was found. Sorry, that's a hard word to say. All those coins date from about 240 to 270. It's a very large number of coins, a lot of face value. What is interesting about it is that it was found outside of Rome and was not near any German settlement either. So clearly someone has buried this in a panic and never come back to it. But it is a mystery about how that actually eventuated. Now, if you have popped in just recently to watch this video, there is a link in the video description which will take you to a password protected page on our website. I'll tell you what that password is at the end of the video. That will give you the opportunity to buy a package that Catherine has put together. That package is a War Animals mint roll, a War Animals C mint mark, and an individual War Animals $2 coin from a roll. That package is $133.50, which is the release price. And that's available to you as watchers of these live videos as I guess a bit of a reward for everyone who supported us with these videos. Strict limits of 1 per household, 1 per person, and payment via bank deposit only. Watch to the end of the video and I'll tell you what the password is to get into that particular page. Now, a few weeks ago I did talk about Japan issuing some new banknotes. And it's the first time Japan's issued new banknotes in 30 years. One of those notes that they reissued was the 10,000 yen banknote. And how much is 10,000 yen? It's about $100. And the new 10,000 yen depicts Shibusawa Aichi, who was an industrialist and philanthropist who lived from about 1840 to 1930. And he's generally considered to be the father of modern capitalist Japan. He's the one who introduced capitalist theories and capitalist practice to Japan during the Meiji Restoration, which was 1860 onwards. And what is interesting is that it is traditional at Japanese weddings to give a gift to the bride of 10,000 yen notes in a white paper envelope. So these notes are being given as wedding gifts, but unfortunately it turns out that Aichi, perhaps in his personal life, wasn't the fine, upstanding person that he was in his professional life. He was notoriously unfaithful, had a reputation of visiting sex workers and didn't consider that to be that to be being unfaithful, and there is an apocryphal story that says that he actually forced his wife to allow one of his mistresses to live in the house with her. So obviously Japanese wives are not taking it too kindly that this gentleman is on the banknote that they're being gifted with. So what does that mean? I don't know. Are they going to redesign the banknote? I'm not sure. Perhaps people will start giving 5,000 yen notes as gifts instead of 10,000 yen notes. But interesting, unforeseen problem with depicting that particular person on the banknote there. Now, what's next in the news here? Oh, New Zealand. Our friends across the ditch are having troubles with a rise in counterfeit currency. The New Zealand Reserve Bank has a target of 5 notes per million being counterfeit. That's the upper limit that they want to stick to. But unfortunately, in the last 2 years, they've actually seen a 300% increase in the number of counterfeit notes in circulation. And they generally think that's because there's so many less cash transactions these days that retail employees are less used to handling cash, and that the basic skills about being able to pick a fake note have been lost. What is interesting is that currently there's estimated to be about 14.3 fake notes per million in New Zealand, which doesn't sound great because it's nearly 3 times their target rate, but not that long ago that was 17.4 notes per million, and the Reserve Bank managed to get that down in fairly short order by having a public information campaign explaining to people how to pick those fake notes, and that process is continuing with the Reserve Bank trying to educate retail workers about how to pick fake notes so that they can get that back down to their 5 notes per million target rate. 80% of the fake notes that are in circulation are thought to be New Zealand $50 notes. Now, you would probably know that there's been a lot of garbage articles in the media over the last few years about coin values and things like that. Much of that has either come directly from supposed influencers on social media or journalists creating clickbait from social media posts. And it turns out it's not unique to Australia, it happens in England too. A supposed influencer on TikTok has published a video telling people to look out for a very rare coin that is worth £200,000 and that their lives could change if they happen to find it. And that particular coin is a British 1952 proof penny, and they're never going to find one. No one is ever going to find one. This person on TikTok is full of the proverbial because no one is ever going to find one. There is only one of these coins and it's in the Royal Mint archives, so you're never going to find one. And of course journalists have gone ahead and picked that up and run with it in various major publications through the UK about this special coin that you should be on the lookout for. It's all trash, it's all rubbish, you're not ever going to find one, and it's all just been created by some person on TikTok who's seen a single entry in the CB catalogue that says 1952 proof penny unique. That's all it says in the catalogue, and it's all just steamrolled on from there. So thank you so much to those people who are damaging the hobby by publishing this sort of rubbish. Now, this will be the last time I mention it. If you have just come in, there is a link in the description to this video which takes you to a password protected page on our website. At the end of the video I'll tell you what that password is, and that will enable you to get into that page and make a purchase on our website. Catherine has put together a War Animals Remembrance package. It's a ram roll, a mintmark $2 coin and a $2 coin from a roll. It's $133.50 plus postage, payment via bank deposit only. There's 20 of those sets available to watchers of this video, and it's I guess a reward for the people that have supported us over the years with these videos. Strict limit of 1 per person and 1 per household, and any orders that are thought to contravene that will be cancelled without warning. Password at the end of the video. Now, Catherine came up with this topic this morning. She thought that I should talk about Mintmark's privymarks and counterstamps. If you've been collecting mint stuff for a little while, you'll probably know that every year on January the 1st, the Mint launches their new mintmark dollar coin, and you can mint those at the Gallery Press in Canberra with a C mint mark on them. And the Mint usually releases a $4 coin set that has 4 of the same dollar coins in it, but they all have a different mark on them. There's usually a C mint mark and 3 privymark coins, usually Brisbane, Melbourne and Sydney. The mint mark coin has a letter C on it with no adornment, and the privymarks, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, are a raised square with an incuse letter in them, and that letter is M for Melbourne, S for Sydney and B for Brisbane, funnily enough. A couple of weeks ago here in Adelaide, you could line up at the Mint stand and get a counterstamp dollar coin. This year the dollar coin is out of this world. You get an A counterstamp dollar coin. That counterstamp is applied to a pre-minted coin by a portable press. It's an A, an incuse, no, let me think. It's a raised A in an incuse circle that's applied to a pre-minted coin by that press. So, you know, what is this counterstamp mint mark privymark thing? It's worth going through, and the Mint themselves back about 13 or 14 years ago got into a real muddle with this, calling things mint marks that weren't mint marks and things like that. So they resolved all of this in about 2011 or 2012, and since then they've stuck with this mint mark privymark counterstamp thing. But funnily enough, all of these terms date back hundreds if not thousands of years, so it is worth having a look at where these things have come from. And if you're new to collecting, or even if you're not new to collecting, this might be of some interest to you. Now, it is mint mark, it's not mint, it's not C mint, it's C mint mark. It's one of my bugbears when people call $2 coins C mint coins. They're actually C mint mark coins. And the mint mark is to represent the coin was minted in Canberra, C for Canberra. So what is a mint mark? It's a letter, a word, a symbol or a design feature that indicates where a coin is made. That's what it is. It tells you where it's made. Obviously on today's modern coins it's usually a letter, and here in Australia it's CSBMAH. You know, there's a letter for different locations, and back in the day the Mint used to call all of those marks with the letters on the mint marks, but of course all the coins were minted in Canberra, so they did change what they did and started calling the non-C letters a privymark, and the ones applied with a portable press were a counterstamp. So a mint mark is a letter, a word or symbol or design feature that indicates where a coin is made. The pictures there up the top, that is some close-ups from 1966 20-cent pieces, and looking at where the wave touches the platypus's head. On the left there is a gap between the end of the wave and the platypus's head, and that was a mint mark put there by the London Mint to distinguish the 1966 20-cent pieces that they made, whereas the ones that were made at Canberra had no gap between the end of the wave and the platypus's head. So that's a design feature. The bottom left there, 1909, you can see that, and there is a small letter M above that, so that's from a sovereign, and the M stands for Royal Mint Melbourne. Here in Australia we had Royal Mint branches in Melbourne, Sydney and Perth, and their mint marks were represented. Have I got that the wrong way round? Well, thanks Peter. Well, that means it's the wrong way around on our website too, and has been for years. Anyway, the Melbourne, Sydney and Perth Royal Mint branches had different ways of signifying where that their coins were made there. For example, on pennies, the Perth Mint would put perhaps a dot after the Y of penny, or a dot after the A of Australia, the last A of Australia, or they used letters like that. And then to show that mint marks go back thousands of years, you can see an ancient Roman coin there on the bottom right, and it's got Roma written at the bottom there, signifying that it was minted in Rome. You may remember that in 1951 some of our coins were minted in London, the threepences, sixpences, pennies and halfpennies, and they had a mint mark on them, PL, and that actually goes back to Roman times too. PL was a mint mark that was used on ancient Roman coins to signify that they were minted in London, and we reused that mint mark for some 1951 coins, and it's believed that PL stands for Percussio Londinium, which means struck in London. So mint marks go back thousands and thousands of years. Next one is a privymark. Now, originally privymarks were a letter, word, symbol or design feature that represented something, maybe a mint master, because of course each mint was, during medieval and ancient times, there was one person in charge of that mint, and the government or the king or the queen would require that particular mint master put a mark on the coin so that they knew who was responsible for the production of those coins. So it could represent a mint master. It could actually represent a mint location, so similar to a mint mark. The source of the metal that the coins were made from. There were a number of English coins that the metal that was used in them was represented by a particular symbol, such as SSC, the South Sea Company coins, or Vigo, which came from a Spanish colonial ship which was raided by the British. So those privy marks represented where the metal came from, to honour an event or occasion, or to prevent counterfeiting. So, for example, there were secret marks on hammered English coins that were put there to try and prevent counterfeiters from being able to create representative copies of those coins. These days, a privy mark is generally used as a marketing device. So on the left there you can see a 1 ounce kookaburra with a selectively gold-plated portrait of King Edward VII. That's supposed to be a sovereign. So, over the years the Perth Mint has released a lot of coins with a lot of different privy marks on them. It allows them to essentially create the same coin design and put a different mark on it, and market it differently. Now on the bottom right there is a Dutch 10 guilders, and if you look to the left of the date there's a battle axe, and that's actually the privy mark of the mint master that was in charge of the mint at that time. And on the right of the date you can see a caduceus, which is a snake wrapped around a staff, and that was the mint mark of Holland. So that coin is interesting because it has a privy mark and a mint mark on it. And I do note that Peter has said something like that you get privy marks on 8 reals, which is true. 8 reals are usually designated by the mint, and then also 2 letters which represent the mint master that was in charge, or I should say the assayer that was in charge of the colonial mint at the time. So for example, 1806 MO is for Mexico, and FM would be the initials of the assayer that was in charge of the colonial mint at that time. Now counterstamps, I'm particularly fond of counterstamps because I love counterstamp coins. A counterstamp is when a letter, design element or words are applied to a coin after it is minted, perhaps for revaluation, for advertising or propaganda, to signify an event, signify acceptance, or allocate to a new authority. Now this process goes back thousands of years as well. Romans were notorious for counterstamping their coins. The Greeks did it as well. Roman generals would counterstamp coins and then pay their soldiers with the counterstamp coins, so the soldiers knew where the money was coming from. The coins in the pictures there, the one at the top left is counterstamped with a merchant's name. It's a 1797 penny. It's counterstamped with a merchant's name on both sides, so that's an advertising piece. The coin at the top right is a Dutch 6 stuivers, and it's got a little bundle of arrows there in the middle, and that's the counterstamp of the Holy Roman Empire that was put there when Spain took over the Netherlands. What they did was they counterstamped these coins to signify that the government would accept them, and you're only allowed to pay with those coins. Now the one at the bottom there is a Brazilian coin, and it's a, let me think, I think it's a 20 reis. So it's a 20 reis coin. Reis is spelled R-E-I-S. And in a time of rampant inflation, the monarchy in charge of Brazil, the Portuguese monarchy, decided that they needed to reevaluate the coins. So they called all the coins in and then doubled their face value, and they did that by countermarking them. You can see that one is countermarked with a 40. So that's the three types of marks that the mint uses. Obviously, at the moment, the mint mark is the only one that really signifies anything of significance, I guess. It says that the coin is minted in Canberra. Perhaps the counter stamps are significant as well. But of course, these days, and it's not just the Royal Australian Mint, all modern mints are using mint marks, privy marks, and counter stamps as marketing devices. It's a way of creating a new product and selling that to people. So for example, if you wanted to collect all the mint mark coins, you would need to get the even though they're not all technically mint mark dollar coins, you would need to get the 4 coin mint mark set. You would need to get coins from the gallery in Canberra, and then you would need to get your hands on any of the counter-stamped issues that have been released. So the one in Adelaide from a couple of weeks ago, and of course they were counter-stamped in Sydney over the weekend at the Ander show that was there. So we'll just have a quick look at what they look like today. Generally, the mint mark is at the top there. Generally the mint mark is an unadorned letter. So on the left there you can see a C. That's off of a 2012 red poppy $2 coin. In the middle there's a silver proof dinosaur coin, and you can see at the bottom there, and on the right is an end of World War II $2 coin as an unadorned C on the left. So that's a mint mark, signifies that the coin was made in Canberra. In the middle row we've got counter stamps. A counter stamp is a mark that is applied to the coin after it is made. On the left there we've got a raised B and an incused circle, so that signifies that that coin had a counter mark applied to it in Brisbane, B for Brisbane. The middle coin is a C, a raised C and an incused circle, signifies that that coin was counter stamped in Canberra. But of course, from a marketing point of view, it doesn't have to be a letter. It can also just be a symbol. So the coin on the right there is a 2015 Lest We Forget $2 with a poppy counter stamp. So again, just purely a marketing exercise there. I think they were all applied at the same place. I couldn't tell you where that is, but of course you can't tell from the letter where they were applied. And then the bottom we've got privy marks. On the left there is the envelope privy mark from the A coin in the first coin hunt set. Usually privy marks are some symbol of some type. The privy marks in the mint mark sets are usually a incused letter in a raised square, but they don't have to be that. They can just be a symbol. There's an M privy mark in the middle there on the Mob of Ruse dollar, and then the envelope privy on the A coin there. So that's all the different things that the mint does, and some history on why the things are used that way. So that's it for the topic of the day. Thank you for Catherine for suggesting that topic. It was a good one. I did enjoy pulling the stuff together for that one, so thank you for Catherine for doing that. Now let's just have a look at some questions. Adam says, do you think they keep making these crap articles to try and keep people interested in using cash and collecting coins? No, it's just for clicks. That's all it is. The KPIs for online articles for the news is just for clicks. I know someone that works in media, and I was told that the news stories you see on commercial news have nothing to do with what's happening in the news. It's what gets watched. And as soon as a particular news topic stops getting watched, then the news will stop talking about it. And nothing more than that, it was really quite depressing when I was told that. We've got any other questions here? Julie says you got the Australia counter stamp at Sydney and over the weekend. Congratulations. L for Mawson Lakes. No, we're not getting any coins struck. Sorry, I'm just scrolling. There's a lot of comments here. So the only valid mint marks these days are the C or P or P125 this year only. Well, yeah, I guess so. The P125, I would argue the P is the mint mark and the 125 is a privy because it's signifying a specific event, the 125th anniversary of the Perth Mint. Yeah, and that's it. That looks like it. Right, so the link in the video description, which takes you to our website, you can purchase a pack of War Animals coins that Catherine has put together. It's a roll, a C mint mark, and a $2 coin from a roll. Price is $133.50 plus postage. Payment via bank deposit only. There's 20 of those packs available. Strictly one per person, one per household. And we will enforce that quite harshly. The password is Purple Poppy, all lowercase, no spaces. Purple Poppy, all lowercase, no spaces. So good luck. I do hope you manage to get one of those. And thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for supporting these videos and asking great questions and making great suggestions. And we'll be back the same time next week. Bye for now.